some news out of Oklahoma, allegedly. Blogger or reporter or journalist, Boomer Sooner, spoke to Baker Mayfield. I asked Baker Mayfield if there was any chance for a reconciliation with the Browns if they were without their quarterback this season, which is what the NFL is allegedly pushing for this morning in the Sue Robinson courtroom, NFL versus NFLPA, representing Deshaun Watson, NFL pushing for an indefinite suspension of at least a year, depending upon what's coming back. NFLPA fighting against that, obviously, with a guy named Jeff Kessler or something like that.
Of course.
Who started free agency as a whole lawyer who knows the ins and outs of arbitration. Who knows what's that's going to go on. And Kerry Murdoch of the Murdoch family.
Uh-oh.
Well, I think that's actually with an H, just with a K.
Murdoch.
At Kerry A. Murdoch. He said that the Browns would have to reach out to him to start the process. Mayfield said he has moved on. Now, this tweet from Kerry Murdoch, who works in Oklahoma for the Sooners, covering the Sooners at some point, was quote tweeted by both Ian Rappaport, who gave a eyebrow raising.
Yeah, is that right?
Kerry Murdoch praising.
What?
Cows are grazing.
What?
On what world, though, are the cows grazing? And does that mean this is real or this is not real? Josina Anderson, she also quote tweeting and said, hold up now. This is not according to my understanding of how things went down. Still unreported prior to mandatory camp. There will always be two sides of a story, but still. So maybe the Browns don't view it this way. Maybe they view they have reached out to him. He has not answered. He is now saying, allegedly through Kerry Murdoch, we don't know if this is real or not. We just heard of Kerry Murdoch. Hey, Kerry, boomer pal. Heard you're doing a great job over there. We just don't happen to know of you just yet. But it feels like other people who have heard of him, like Rapport and Josina, say, hey, this is deserved credibility of at least being read, even though it might not be what we have heard in the past. So Baker's saying they haven't even reached out to start the process and maybe get me back for a quarterback who they paid $230 million guaranteed suspended for an entire year. And I asked for a trade. They said, fuck off. Then they called, tried to Rick. I didn't answer at that moment. I was down at Camp Mayfield at the lake. What do you want from me? I had nothing to do. So it sounds like, although people say, that Baker's ready to move on, bygones are going to be bygones. He said they would have to reach out to start that entire process. So if they reach out to start that entire process and, Baker and them are able to come to an agreement, hey, you're going to play for a year. It's good for you to play for a year. It's good for us to play for a year.
Sure.
We don't know what your other options are at the moment. You can play for us for this season as a starter with the team that you already know. We're going to have to do some work to build up a little bit of relationships within the locker room again, whatever the case is. But that sounds like this is mendable, even though what's coming out of the mouth is they're both ready to move on. That statement of they would have to reach out to start that process makes me think like, oh, so maybe there is a little glimmer of hope in this relationship. And is that what anybody wants at this point? Other than the Browns fans who might be without their quarterback and maybe having Jacoby Brissett be their starter for the next year.
You would think it would be if Deshaun gets suspended for a year, it would be in the Browns' best interest to have Baker Mayfield be that quarterback for the year. Now, I say some things about Baker, but I do think he is one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Top 32?
Top 32 for sure, probably top 20, okay?
Whoa.
That's interesting.
Okay. I think he's better
You
than...
don't think he's top 20?
No, I just...
You're saying him calling him top 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, because of all the terrible things he said. Got it.
Like, I would never call Carl a top 20 quarterback.
Because of what you said earlier.
What I say about Carl.
What if he dyed his beard?
No, he'd still look terrible.
Okay.
Says about Carson.
But I think
Carson taking Rick's
he's been in that
shots.
offense for, 2 years now? He knows it better than Jacoby Brissett. He'd probably be better than Jacoby Brissett in that offense. But that comment feels like a Baker comment, like, I ain't fucking, they're going to have to reach out to me, okay? I'm not
Oh, my.
This is what I mean. This is what I meant.
Sounds immature.
Right.
Sounds
Immature. Sounds like a jaded guy. Fucking coach puts you out there with a guy looking for a sack record, doesn't chip him at all, has you throw it 60 times.
Yeah.
2 days after he says publicly, yeah, his accuracy shit because the thing he's got to wear. With that being said, you're throwing more than Kenny Pickett did at college.
Yeah.
Like, that's an interesting decision. I think bygones can be bygones, and that can happen quickly, by the way. Just like Cam Newton and Carolina Panthers said to each other, they figured that out in 2 days.
Yeah, that costs money, though.
That's going to cost money, and this one's $18.5 million.
Yeah.
Which Baker gets regardless.
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of holding the keys in this thing. Who will be the quarterback for the Browns? Maybe we find out today.
Ooh.
Hour 2 on the other side of this 6-minute break. Oh, got it in.
Here we go.
Got it in. Full sentence with less than a second left. Pretty good. Sounded like
pretty
Twista
huge.
right there. Felt like Twista.
Yeah.
Got it in there pretty quick. But Jacoby Brissett, I'm a fan of.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was stumping for Jacoby to be MVP whenever he was the Colts quarterback because he was doing very well like the first 10 weeks. Then
Hayward.
Minka
picks
put
it.
his massive head into Quentin Nelson and the other offensive lineman, got him off, hurt his knee. He was not the same quarterback after that. Just wasn't. It was vastly different than what it was beforehand. So I think Jacoby can be very, very good in the NFL. I still believe that. I think he also is an incredible backup quarterback. Great for the quarterback's mentals, great for the vibe. He was one of the leaders of this team when he was here behind Andrew Luck. Like, I think he's great to have. He might be their guy for the whole year. He's going to eat the Carolina Panthers probably, because the Niners won't trade to Seattle. So Seattle then becomes the only real potential landing spot for Baker Mayfield. $18.5 million coming alongside of that. Does he end up at Seattle, or is he playing for the Browns, even though everybody's saying it ain't going to happen?
Is there a way that he can? I guess he could be excused, right? Like,
hold on. Josina told us what? If they're going to pay him, they might be trying to get something out of him in our conversation with him with her last week, right?
Yeah.
And then now she's quoting, hold up. I have not heard that what he is alleging, that there's been no start to the process of conversation has happened. So maybe what we're hearing from Josina is that the Browns have been like, come to the realization that we're probably not going to be able to move Baker here. We're certainly not going to cut him if we have to pay him $18.5 million, and he might be our quarterback. Is that what Josina was alluding to when she was talking to us? And with this tweet of, this is not how my understanding of the situation goes? We should ask Josina.
Yeah, because what you just said I think makes more sense. Like, Jimmy will probably end up in Carolina if they trade him, and Baker will end up in Seattle if they trade him. Because they didn't refute this weekend when they were saying Seattle and Cleveland are close on a trade with Baker Mayfield. Like, I didn't see that get refuted, but this one where it says like he could, reconcile with the team if the Browns reach out. I thought that's what they were refuting.
Man, I can't wait for this to happen. And the reason why we're excited for a ruling to potentially come out about Deshaun is because there's about 7 other dominoes that we have to talk about every single day that could take place. Our job is a stupid one. We're lucky to do it, but I am about done dealing with the shits.
Yeah,